Well, hello there. It's Wednesday. It's take 5, and we're reading together through the Song of Songs. And today we're in chapters 4 and 5. Now, we know the Song of Songs is this passionate, romantic, intimate poem that describes the love between a man and a woman, a husband and his wife, a lover and her beloved. Yesterday we were in chapter 3. We didn't speak about it here, but if you read that chapter, it describes the wedding day of this couple. Chapter 3 is where they come together in marriage and they become one with one another. And today in chapter 4, it's taken up with the man, the husband, telling his wife how beautiful she is. And he uses all of this poetic language and imagery to describe how beautiful his wife is. And you get the sense as you read it that he is head over heels in love with this woman. There's one particular verse that struck me. It's verse 7 of chapter 4. It says, "You are altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you." We've said a couple of times this week that this book, this poem, does describe human relationships between men and women, husbands and wives. But at the same time, it also speaks to us about our relationship with Christ and Christ's love for us. And it's verses like this that make me more confident that there is that message in this book for us. Because if this was a verse about a human being, well, then we couldn't really say it was true. You are altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you. In other words, this man is saying to his wife, you are perfect. Now we know that that isn't true, right? That can't be true about anyone. To say that there is no flaw in you cannot be true. And so the only way a verse like this can be true, completely true, I think, is if we look at it through the lens of the gospel. Because you see, the wonderful thing, one of the wonderful things about what Jesus has done for us is that by his death, by the sacrifice of his body and by his resurrection, he has made us clean and he has made us perfect, so that now we are covered in Christ's perfection. This is just the wonder at the heart of the gospel, is that when we come to him and give our lives to him, all of our imperfection is taken on by him and all of his perfection is given to us, so that now I think it is true to say that Jesus can look at the church and say, you are altogether beautiful. There is no flaw in you. I know that's hard to believe because we're all part of the church and we know that we're not perfect. But from God's perspective and from a spiritual standpoint, there's so much in the Bible that would seek to suggest that actually through Christ's sacrifice we have been made perfect. Let me just read one verse before I let you get on with your day. Ephesians chapter 5 talks about, again, human marriage, but connects it to the marriage between Christ and his church. Listen to this. Ephesians 5 verse 25. This is wonderful. Husbands, it says, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy and without blemish. Powerful verse that says, because of Christ's sacrifice, because of his love that drove him to give himself up for us, we have been made perfect and holy, without spot or without blemish. And so I think there is a sense in which we can hear the voice of Jesus today say to us by the Spirit, you are altogether beautiful, my love. There is no flaw in you. That's so hard to believe. But I do think there's a very real sense that it is true of us because of all that he has done for us. So meditate on that today. Be blown away by that today. Christ's love for his church. See you tomorrow.